These are the Maroon Bells, said to be the most photographed mountains in North America. Sometimes referred to as the Deadly Bells, today we'll attempt to snowboard them. It's such a risky endeavor, an important sign at the base of the mountain informs the dangers, stating, "Do not attempt to climb if not qualified." With a competent crew of trained and experienced riders, we understood the risks, but do not venture into the backcountry yourself without the proper knowledge and training. They have always been the image of Colorado and attract nature lovers from around the world to gaze at their glory. Even Ansel Adams visited to capture the beauty himself.
Would you look at those bells?
Having lived in Aspen for 15 years, I had always wondered if riding this iconic symbol of Colorado would be something I could achieve. Whenever I had looked at the bells growing up, the two biggest questions I had were how would you get up there and how the hell would you ride down? After years of talking with friends and through my own research, I found the answer. The mountain is made of a set of twin peaks, North Maroon and South Maroon, which both have ski descent lines of their own. Opting out of the summit for now, we were attempting to ride the Y couloir. To get there, we would climb up through the garbage chute, up the right side of the Y, across the ridge, to ride down the steeper left flank of the Y. That was the plan at least. We would be using split boards, which are snowboards that split into skis and have detachable grips called skins to allow us to climb. For the steeper sections, we would be using crampons on our boots with ice axes in hand. Using specific backcountry mapping tools, we were able to plan our route and know very detailed information such as danger areas to avoid and the steepness of the pitches. But the most valuable information we had come from spending time in the surrounding mountains in the prior weeks to be able to understand what the snowpack was really like. In fact, 2 weeks before the Bells, we had ridden a line with a full frontal view when I remarked unknowingly how one day we would be riding the Bells. With brothers Nick and Adam, we began our trip at 3 a.m. Starting at dark was really special. We had a completely clear sky to see all the stars, so as to not blind ourselves with the bright white light, we used the red lights on our headlamp as we began the trip. As the twilight faded, the Bells grew tall above us. A lot of times when you're in the backcountry, the mountain you're heading towards doesn't show until the very end. This just made it more special being able to see the mountain and the line we were going to ride the whole day as we got closer and closer. We were about 2 miles in when the first light hit the Bells, radiating a salmon color across the peaks. I had never seen the Bells from this angle and in this light, and to me it felt like a true invitation of the mountain calling us closer. Climbing higher, the garbage chute was our first trouble point in the day. This is a tight hallway on the Bells where all the debris from past avalanche gathers, leaving big boulders of ice in the way, which make it really difficult to navigate. The short pitch took us longer than anticipated to get through, but we managed, having much more to climb after that. At this point, we ran into our friend Chad, who had bailed on an attempt to summit South Maroon. He had been trying to ride a line known as the Bell Cord, but being solo and seeing signs of potential avalanche danger, he turned around. This was the first point in the day where we thought we might not make our objective to the top of the line we wanted. Because we were going to a different part of the mountain, we made a group decision to climb higher to see if we would find different conditions from what Chad experienced. So we kept climbing. Because it was a clear day and the sun was shining, snow was shedding off higher parts of the mountain, raining down in miniature avalanche releases. From what we saw, we were still in a safe place where we were climbing, but we were noticing a lot of this avalanche shed happening on the route we were deciding to climb up. Seeing this, there was no chance of us climbing up in this danger zone, which happened to be the looker's right side of the Y couloir. We decided to go for an alternative climbing route and get eyes on the left side of the Y to see if it would be feasible to climb up. It would be a steeper climb than our initial route, but we decided to go for it. This is where the crampons and the ice axes came out and where the real work of the day would happen. There wasn't too much fresh snow in the couloir, so as we climbed, we were on a steep, icier surface. At a few points, my crampons were sliding off my boots, causing me to hold on to the wall while I readjusted them. A big takeaway for me at this point for future missions would be to ski strap my crampon to my boot so that they wouldn't slide and cause me to lose grip. As we got higher, we noticed we were quickly coming up on the time that we wanted to drop in to still be safe. At this point, Nick made the call that we were dropping in 15 minutes, no matter where we were. Leading the charge, Adam hustled as hard as he could, climbing ahead of us to make it to the top. We all thought the end of the climb was much higher than it was, so when Adam finally reached the top, we switched places, allowing him to rest as we all made it to the top of the Y couloir. We were at an all-time high for the day after having just thought we weren't gonna make it to the top. I've never seen anybody climb as fast and at such a tired point as Adam had, but he really wanted all of us to make it. Still on the clock to drop in for our safe timing, we didn't have much time to celebrate, and we got to work transitioning our skis to boards and to get ready to drop in. The most challenging part of the day was over. Now all we had to do was ride. There was only one problem. In the urgency to get up the mountain, I hadn't ratcheted my straps tight before climbing. Because of this, my straps were loose when my board was on my back as we climbed. This evidently caused my strap to fall off. Not something you want when you're dropping into the biggest line of your life. With not much more time to go, the best solution I could think of was to use ski straps to tighten my foot to my binding. This would act as a faux ankle strap to get me down. I used one strap to go under the sole of my boot and around the top of my boot, acting like an ankle strap, and a second ski strap around my ankle and my high back to keep my foot down as locked in as possible.
Yeah, it's probably good to go down that.
Having climbed up the run we were going to ride down, we were more familiar with what the snow was going to feel like. And what we noticed was that we had a firm surface with a light dusting of snow on top. This meant that that light snow on top would want to move once we were on it. This is known as slough, and from what we had seen, we weren't too worried of it causing a big avalanche. Because of his effort, we all decided that Adam deserved the first drop. As Adam dropped in, he kicked off some slough, which we were expecting. He managed to get out of its way and allowed it to rinse down the rest of the run. As long as we all stayed in this rinse path, we would be pretty safe. Getting Adam's radio signal that he had made it down to the safe point after the couloir, I was up next for the run of my life.
We fucking got this shit.
With such a long, steep run, this is considered a no-fall zone. And because the snow was so firm, you couldn't manage doing nice, smooth turns, but rather hop turns down the pitch. With the ski straps on my foot and binding, I felt the slight pull and elasticity every time I hopped into a new turn. It was a long and extremely tiring way to get down the run we worked for. After I made it to the safe spot, Nick followed up the train. At the bottom, we were all completely stoked, but understood that we still had to navigate getting down the rest of the mountain in a safe way. We surfed the rest of the run, feeling the difference of cold, shade-covered snow and snow that was getting heavier, having warmed up from the sun. But we were still able to find some really smooth, amazing turns on the way down. At the bottom of the mountain, we looked up to see our turns all the way from the top of the Y couloir. We had put the hard work in, and we had made our mark with our lines on the icon of Colorado. Getting to ride the Maroon Bells on our first attempt was something truly special. And it gave us a great knowledge base for when we go back to get even higher. If you want to see us summit and ride one of the 14,000 foot peaks of Maroon Bells, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that in the future. And if you want to see a day where we got to ride the longest couloirs of our life, make sure you watch this video next. That was another extra special day for us in the mountains. Thanks for watching, and until next time, we'll see you somewhere on the mountain. Peace.